Welcome back. Imagine stepping into an arena where the greatest battle is not with the world, but within the corridors of your own mind. Of what use is anger when the same end can be arrived at by reason? These words by Seneca, a towering figure in Stoicism, invite you into a world where control is your ultimate weapon and reason your unwavering ally. We've all felt the heat of anger through our veins. It's a universal human experience, as common as the air we breathe. But while a spark can cook a hearty meal, it can also burn down a forest. Such is the nature of anger. In today's video, we're not just discussing anger, we're dissecting it, understanding its triggers, its effects, and most importantly, how a Stoic harnesses it. Forget the temper tantrums and the clenched fists of frustration. We're going beyond the surface, where anger isn't a wild beast but a challenge, waiting to be tamed by those who dare to confront it with a Stoic calm will. Unravel the Stoic's guide to temperance, where resentment doesn't eat away at our core but is used as a tool to forge an indomitable spirit. As we traverse the wisdom of Stoicism, you'll learn to transform the raw energy of anger into a powerful force for positive change in your life. This is not about suppressing emotion or denying what you feel. It's about channeling that intensity into a constructive and life-affirming West. It's about mastering the art of equanimity in the face of life's provocation. So, ready your minds, men of reason and resilience. Join me as we embark on a journey to master our inner world and emerge as modern-day Stoics, victorious, not in the conquest of others but in the supreme conquest over our lesser selves. This is not just a lesson, it's an awakening. Welcome to the Stoics' path to mastering anger. Welcome to your path to an unshakable peace. Imagine a tale that speaks not of ancient empires or heroic feats in battle, but of a simple boy with a fiery temper. This boy's father, instead of clashing with his son's rage, chose a different path, one that speaks volumes about the Stoic way. He handed the boy a bag of nails and a hammer and instructed him to drive a nail into their fence for every burst of anger. On the first day alone, the fence bristled with 30 nails. Over time, the number dwindled until the boy went a day without succumbing to his fury. Proudly he informed his father, who then suggested he remove a nail for each day. He managed to control his temper. Eventually all the nails were gone, yet the father then pointed out the holes that remained in the fence, a stark reminder that while the nails were gone, the marks of anger endured just like these holes. The father said, angry words once spoken can leave a scar that will not fade. Now you might believe there's such a thing as righteous anger, that feeling when you've been wronged, when your back's against the wall, but surrendering to this emotion can cause more harm than good, not just to others, but to yourself. Remember what the Stoics teach us, where reason can intervene. Anger is unnecessary. Anger comes in many shades and degrees. There's the flash of immediate rage and the simmering resentment that can mar a lifetime. Imagine two types of anger as illustrated by Stoic thinkers. One is hot anger, erupting like a volcano, scorching everything in its path. The other is cold anger, hidden away, a slow poison that corrodes from within over the years. Understanding these emotions, recognizing them for what they are, and learning to channel them is central to the Stoic philosophy. It's not about quenching the fire of your emotions, but about harnessing them, transforming that energy into wisdom and action in tune with nature and reason. So as we reflect on this story, let's consider how we as modern Stoics can navigate our anger. Let's strive to leave our fences intact, our relationships unscarred by the nails of hasty temper. In mastering ourselves, we find true strength, the strength of character that defines the Stoic path. Seneca challenges us to rethink the nature of human anger. Unlike the wild, instinctive reactions we see in the animal kingdom, our anger often sprouts from a bed of flawed logic. This is because at our core we're creatures of reason. Seneca casts a critical eye on the utility of anger in human affairs. He suggests, yet what could be more harmful to us than anger? While our natural purpose is to work together and help each other, anger seeks destruction. It draws us away from unity and towards division. It thieves not on building up, but on tearing down, even if it means taking oneself down in the process. So we come to the question, is anger ever useful? Stoicism, like other schools of thought, sees little value in it when reason and understanding are at our disposal anger becomes redundant. Consider a scenario where force seems the only option. If your argument is solid and justified, why let anger enter the fray if your demands are reasonable? Force is unnecessary, but if they stem from mere desire without just cause, reason is powerless and you're left with force as your only tool. Yet resorting to force is a sure sign of weakness, not strength. As we stand on the brink of outrage or frustration, we must ask ourselves, is this a display of control or a lack of it? Seneca argues that there is no task anger can accomplish that reason cannot achieve with greater efficiency. In his treatise on anger, he distinguishes is between applying force wisely and applying force blindly with anger. Through this lens, a Stoic examines his impulses, questioning not just the what and the how but the why. By understanding the roots of our fury, we reclaim the power of our reason, the true hallmark of strength and the essence of the Stoic way. There are times when you've got to put some muscle into what you're doing. It's a common thought that force has to come with a side of anger, like getting heated is going to give you an edge. But take it from Seneca, an old Stoic wise man. He reckoned that anger is like being soused. You think you're in control, but really you're all over the place and in the thick of it. That lack of control is just going to hand victory to the cool-headed guy who's keeping his wits while you're losing yours. So what's the game plan with anger? It creeps up on you. Might start with just a bit of annoyance and then boom, you're seeing red. By that point you're out of luck. Seneca's advice was to catch that annoyance early, like sniffing out a problem with your car before it leaves you stranded. He says, and I'm quoting him here, if something's starting to go south, it'll kick up a fuss if you poke at it. Better to deal with issues the moment you spot them. Watch what you say, hold back that knee-jerk reaction and keep a lid on it. It's always easier to nip those emotions in the bud before they run wild. There's your Stoic toolkit for dealing with anger. Don't let it rev up. Keep an eye on the gauges and take action early. That way you stay in control, you stay effective, and you keep the upper hand. Seneca says that the best way to beat anger is to understand why it happens. Most of the time it's because things aren't going our way, the traffic's a mess, the computer crashes, or the game gets rained out. These are the moments when you need to have a word with yourself. Ask, is getting worked up going to fix anything? The answer is usually no. The Stoic strategy here is to focus on what you can control. Can't control the traffic, maybe you can control what you do with that time. Listen to a podcast or an audiobook, or just take a moment to breathe and enjoy some peace. Turn the situation around and find your power in it. And remember, staying calm is not just for your own good, it sets the tone for everyone around you. If you're leading a team at work or you're with your family, staying steady means you're the rock. When the waves hit, others will pick up on your vibe and it'll make the whole crew stronger. So to wrap this up, the Stoic way isn't about denying force or anger. It's about mastering them. It's about recognizing when that fuse is getting short and then doing something about it before you're blowing up. It's about knowing what you can change and having the guts to do it, and knowing what you can't and having the wisdom to let go. Keep that in mind, and you're not just sailing through the storm, you're charting a course everyone else is going to want to follow. The Stoics were big on keeping their cool rather than losing it to anger, but getting to that chill state. That's the real trick. Stoicism offers us a bunch of practical moves for sidelining anger, and one heavyweight champion among these is patience. Seneca chalked up patience to good solid thinking. The idea is simple, yet powerful. Everything's always changing. The stuff that's got your blood boiling right now, it's going to be old news before you know it, and as that happens, the heat of your anger will start to drop. That's why the old count to 10 tactic is a solid move, and for those times when the mercury's really rising, don't be shy to push that count to 100. Here's another play. Admit when you're ticked off. This isn't about throwing a punch or making a scene. It's about recognizing that you're heated, and that's okay. Pretending you're not mad just to come off as Mr. Nice Guy is like trying to hide a wildfire under a blanket. It doesn't work, and it's just going to smolder into something worse. Instead, be upfront. Tell someone, I'm steamed, without going off the deep end. When you put it out there, you're stepping back from the emotion, not letting it drive. Stoicism isn't about bottling up, it's about managing your reactions. It's being honest with yourself and others, taking a beat to Cool down and dealing with what's in front of you without letting your anger call the shots. The dishonesty about your anger is actually a form of strength. It takes guts to look at your own boiling point and not spill over. This is where the concept of virtue comes into play. It's all about self-control. It's about being the master of your own ship, no matter how stormy the seas get. And when you manage that, when you hold your ground and stay calm, you're not just doing yourself a favor, you're setting an example for the guys around you, showing that a real man isn't someone who wins by shouting the loudest or throwing the first punch. It's the one who can face the chaos and not let it mess with his head. That's the guy who wins respect, who earns trust, and who leads, whether it's in the boardroom, at the job site, or with his family. So next time anger starts to rise, remember it's an opportunity to prove your mettle, to practice patience, and to demonstrate the kind of man you truly are. Taking control also means letting go of old battles, and that's where forgiveness steps in as a game changer. Stoicism teaches us to differentiate between what we can and can't control. Grudges, that long-term anger, they sit heavy on your shoulders like a backpack full of bricks. Forgiveness is how you take it off. It's not about saying what happened was okay. It's about deciding you're not going to let it weigh you down anymore. Think of it this way: our power lies in our ability to choose how we respond. We can't rewrite history or make someone else act differently, but we can choose to drop the resentment. Holding on to it is like guzzling down poison and hoping the other guy gets sick. It doesn't work that way in the end. Not forgiving is a surefire way to do yourself in, emotionally speaking. So there you have it. Control doesn't mean clamping down on every situation. It means knowing when to apply your strength and when to ease up. And when you forgive, you're taking back the reins on your emotional well-being. That's the kind of strength that stands the test of time. Keep this in mind, and you'll not just endure but thrive. I hope you found value in this video. If so, please leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming content. And now we want to hear from you. Share in the comments how you plan to apply these tips in your daily life. Your interaction makes all the difference. Until next time.